Welcome back to Life Lab. Today we're looking at an interesting device that promises to help reset your nervous system. This is the Pulsetto Fit. It has 4 little electrodes on the inside. You wear it around your neck and it touches either side of your voice box here, and it delivers a mild electrical pulse through these electrodes into your vagus nerve. Why would you want to do this, you're asking? Well, the vagus nerve is strongly associated with your parasympathetic nervous system. That is all the unconscious functions of your body, and often due to stress or environment or lack of sleep or any number of factors, this vagus nerve can shut down. So by stimulating it, you can help to bring those systems back online. There's a lot of good clinical studies behind VNS, vagus nerve stimulation, but most of the existing science is on actually implanting an electrode in the nerve itself rather than transdermal vagus nerve stimulation, which is what the Pulsetto does, like through the skin. Clinical VNS is pretty well established as an effective treatment for epilepsy and depression. But this new type of vagus nerve stimulation through the Pulsetto is in its early stages, but does seem to have some measurable effect. So it comes with Sigma gel, which is an electrode gel that you put on the electrodes before you put them against your neck. And then you use the app that comes with Pulsetto to activate the device, and you can set it for anxiety, for sleep, for burnout, for stress, for pain, for inflammation, for gut health. And they recommend to see any kind of result that you want to use 4 to 6 minutes up to twice a day. So why did I get into this? Well, I have an Oura ring that I reviewed on this channel before, and the one metric that seems to be, holding me back from getting a perfect score in exercise, sleep, and readiness is my HRV, my heart rate variability. This measures how quickly your heart adapts to new stimulus and how quickly it relaxes after that stimulus has passed. So mine has been stuck on around 20 milliseconds for over a year now. So I wanted to know if the Pulsetto would have a measurable effect on HRV. The answer is yes, it does. A very dramatic effect. The first day I used it, it went up to 70, and it's the highest HRV I've gotten in, over a year since I started measuring. I wanted to see if maybe this was a coincidence, so I came off it the next day and didn't do it, and yes, it went back down. It turns out that this Pulsetto stimulation is really beneficial for HRV, and HRV is a good measurement of your overall nervous system health. I've only been using the device on and off for about 3 weeks now. I've seen my readiness score on the Oura ring climb up because of the HRV, and now I'm, consistently in the high 80s, low 90s. I haven't yet seen this translate into overall more productivity, more a better feeling of well-being, but that was already pretty high. And I'll be interested to see if over using this device the next 5 or 6 months, whether or not I can kind of heal my vagus nerve out of its sort of stressed out state and get a longer term, higher HRV without using the Pulsetto. It does take some practice to use. If you don't have it on exactly the right part of your throat, you tend to get muscle spasms and your neck moving around. What I have found is effective is to put the electrode gel on the Pulsetto, and then when you still have some on your fingers, to sort of mark the area where your pulse is, which is where you want the electrodes to sit. And then once you put the device on, to kind of push it in a little to see if you can feel your heartbeat through the device. Now, when I first started this, I was doing breathing exercises for the 8 minutes, which was fine, but it adds a little bit of inertia. It's like one more thing you have to do. So what I've realized is I can put this device on at night and just read just read my book while I'm undergoing my vagal nerve stimulation. The Fit is currently $289. When I first got it, I thought you also needed to have a subscription to the app, but the app works for free. You just sign in with Google or Apple, and there is I think $100 a year upgrade that gives you more data, but you don't need to pay for the app to use the Pulsetto. I'll probably do a 6-month or a year update, but so far I found it to be, very interesting to use, minimally invasive, not that distracting, even when I'm using it on 7 or 8 out of 10. And it's definitely doing something good for my HRV. How that translates long term, I will have to get back to you. That is the Pulsetto Fit. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.